Last time I talked about Camaros, I've said that for a normal person a V6 Camaro is more than enough and that the V8 Camaro is way too much performance for street use. But later I thought to myself, who am I to set the line between normal people and not so normal? Some drivers might say that straight line acceleration is all that matters in a car. Others, like myself, might say that handling and balance is more important than power. The reality is that the Camaro sales numbers are going down. People are more inclined to buy Mustangs because Ford knows how to build excitement and hype with some new models and tons of commercials. And there are those who choose Challengers and Chargers, and I don't blame those people. If you have a 9-to-5 job that you hate, if a family vacation feels to you like a prison sentence, and if you look like an angry chihuahua in the morning, then you need a Challenger RT therapy. Well, it's not like these are the only symptoms of hammy deficiency, I'm just saying. But hey, we're here to talk about Camaro SS. Now, the Camaro SS is not here to play games with you. When I said that there's too much performance for street use, I meant that I was only able to redline the engine maybe twice. There's so much torque that you don't need to push the car past 5,000 RPMs. Again, on the street. Unfortunately, I only had this convertible SS for 2 days. But luckily, I drove through mountains in Virginia, and this is where the Camaro shined to me in a way it never did before. So, I am in sport mode. I keep it in sport mode because I'm afraid to go in track mode. That might be a little bit too much. The current tire setup, it's a little bit worn out, and I don't want to push it too hard. So I'm gonna leave all the traction goodies on because the car is tail happy once you start to push it out. Right, so I'm gonna move to manual mode, downshift a few gears, and we're good to go. This is where you should drive a Camaro SS. Not in the city, not at a stoplight or something. Very responsive. Yes. Wow. It hooks up really good. It's a completely different experience driving a V8 muscle car compared to a 4-cylinder turbo. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Oh shit. Roads, the car feels a little bit heavy and kind of bulky. Once you get it on a mountain road, it's completely different. And you can feel the tail moving around. This is an animal. Delivery is just incredible. It's just a stable, long Turk band. Wow. And here's the Blurish Parkway. You still can't catch the tail. It turns in really, really well. The auto mode is fun. I do like it better than the one in Mustang. It definitely feels a lot more precise. There's less hunting, I would say. It's still not desirable to use it when you do a focused driving in mountains. So here's the proof of my earlier statement. Camaro SS has very high performance limits, and you need to be a good driver to extract the potential hidden underneath. Well, I'm obviously not a good driver, but the whole car is very approachable, and the more confidence you build, the more rewarding your experience will be. And that's not even the 1LE package, which adds Magneride, more cooling, and other improvements. There's also the feedback. The harder you start pushing, the more responsive and engaging everything feels. You hear pops and crackles from exhaust, you hear the clutch pack style differential engaging, there's mechanical communication. The whole car starts to shrink around your body and all you see is the next corner coming at you. Oof, wow, what a car, right? It's okay, don't worry. Here's some complaining, of course. Now, all of these merits I've talked about somehow disappear once you start to drive the Camaro SS on city streets. It feels large, bulky, nose heavy, you start complaining about visibility, you know, the usual stuff. The infotainment seems to be cursed on me because I always have problems with it. The stock exhaust seems a little too quiet for me, at least compared to the Mustang and Challenger in stock form as well. Cold start. But hey, with the right exhaust, this engine sounds like a roaring dinosaur. So not a big deal. Oh, and there are those complaining about the engine not revving all that high. Well, I do agree that high revving V8s produce some of the sweetest sounds in existence. But the reality is that unless you own a Miata or an S2000, having a high revving engine with a lot of power makes no sense in everyday life. You know what? Let's keep the car journalists complaining about that. It's their job after all. I'm not going to talk about the interior, watch the previous video for that. One thing I will add though is the heads-up display, and you know, it's one of those features you never knew you need until you have it. Because it's not intrusive, can be adjusted, and keeps you focused on the road. Alright folks, I'm gonna put an end here. I've said in the beginning that I have no right to tell you what car you should buy. Get the Camaro you want, V6 or V8 or even the 4-cylinder. They're all fantastic. When you think about Camaros, think about the BMW M cars. Think about real sports cars, then put it against Mustangs or Challengers. I'm just trying to say that the 6th gen Camaro has to offer a lot more than just straight line races and burnouts. So go buy one before GM stops making them. I'll see you next time. I don't know why you wanna treat me this way.